Brothers, welcome to another episode of the Rising King Show, where I'm sharing what I call the new way of operating as a man in today's world. Now, my name's Ben Sorkeld. I'm the founder of the Rising Kings movement, and together we're a group of men raising standards, elevating performance, and living out a more impactful and fulfilling life as fathers, husbands, and leaders. Now, today's episode is short, but there's a reason for this, because I want to inspire you to think about the game of transformation differently. So much so that when I understood this concept I'm about to share, my world completely transformed. You see, personal development work often has a stigma attached to it. Like even the term personal development makes me cringe a little. And I remember back 10 years ago, aerospace engineer by trade, very logical, and the thought of personal development literally would just make me laugh. Thinking to myself, what is this? All these people queuing to go see some guy, hype them up at some event or buy a book to make life great. Where's the logic in that? And brother, maybe you can relate. Now, 10 years on, it's a very different story. I'm a huge fan of personal development, but it's not what I thought it would be. And that's what I want to help you see today. You see, have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same routine, working hard but not truly moving forward? Do you sometimes wonder if all the effort you put into life and business or yourself is even actually worth it? And if you've ever asked yourself the question, is this really worth it? Or why is this so hard? Then brother, this episode is for you. Now, when it comes to productivity and performance, it often feels like a logical game, doesn't it? We can hack our way to a 4-hour work week. We can install the latest time blocking tactics and save ourselves time and money. A straightforward game of ROI, return on investment. But personal development, marriage, raising kids, understanding triggers, that's a different beast altogether. You see, the allure of personal development, though, is so grand. We imagine tapping into our highest potential, having a clearer mind, a more connected marriage, experiencing more fun and laughter with your kids. And it sounds amazing. I get it. Yet those who embark on this journey know the inner game is often messy. The deeper you go, man, the muddier it tends to get. Now, for some, it becomes too much, too hard. They pack up, they ship out saying, this is good enough. I'm going to stay here. Now, I've been there before, telling myself I was all good, that I didn't need to go any further. But the truth is, over time, that itch kept coming. That desire to know what lays beyond. Now, as someone who doesn't like to back down from a challenge, I would often head back in, uncovering the next layer to unpack. Because there's this saying, for every level, there's another devil. And that's when things change for me. That's when I recognize this is an infinite game. That if you're not growing, you're contracting. It's like the apple. While the apple's attached to the tree, it's growing. But when you pull the apple from the tree, does it simply just stay the same? Can you hold that apple for the next week, the next month, the next year? You see, when the apple disconnects from the tree, what I call the source, it begins to decay. And our lives are no different. And so one must be willing to continually work on growth, personal knowledge, expanding oneself. Because it's here that I realize that the journey is the destination. And that's when my mind had this explosion. And I'll say it again. I realized that the journey is the destination. And that was the day I let go. The day I surrendered to the work. It was the start of my new life. And since then, I've been devoted to transforming it, making it consistent, and incremental progress in my habits, traits, and behaviors. Becoming aware of my triggers, default thought patterns, all these areas that are so crucial to understanding oneself. Building a connection to myself, my loved ones, and the life that I truly desired to have became my mission. Because I became committed. I became committed to me. Because the hardest commitment we need to make is to ourselves. And brother, I can say I've never, ever looked back. Some days the resistance feels overwhelming. I question if I'm on the right path. Doubt creeps in. It's whispering like, is it really worth it? But then I remember the game I'm playing, one of eternal evolution, and I push on. Because this is the path, my friend. There's no medals, there's no awards, just a new awakening, should one choose to look. That each challenge is a chance to grow, to refine your approach, to become more of who you're meant to be. Because it's not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about waking up each day, ready to give your best, to hold the standards, to stay true to your vision, and to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Because this journey, man, is your story. Each day a new chapter, written with courage, determination, and unwavering faith in what's possible. Now imagine a mountain. You're at the base, it's crowded, filled with people trying to hack their way up, seeking shortcuts. But as you ascend, the crowd thins. The air gets clearer, the view more breathtaking. And at the peak, it's just you and the horizon. It's a place of peace, perspective, this profound clarity. And that's the destination we're all heading towards, even if the path is winding and steep. So forget quick fixes, because speed is the enemy of this game. Instead, embrace the power of commitment to your soul and watch what happens, man. So to wrap this episode up, I want you to ask yourself, are you ready to commit to this type of journey? Like to embrace the challenges, to see each one as an opportunity for growth? Are you prepared to let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on persistent, incremental progress? Because, like I said, this is the infinite game. A game where the journey itself is the reward. A game where each day, each step brings you closer to becoming the person you desire to be. It's like what Aristotle once said. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And it's these daily actions, the small commitments, that lead to profound change. So, brother, I trust that this has inspired you to look at the game of transformation through a different lens. And if you found this discussion helpful, please share it with someone who might need a little inspiration on their path right now. And brother, as always, don't forget to subscribe to the Rising King Show for more insights, stories on the journey, and how we can reach our highest potential. And until next week, keep moving forward, stay committed, embrace the infinite game of personal growth. Stay strong. So brother, I just want to thank you for tuning in and listening or watching the Rising King Show. It means a lot to me. I'm very grateful to have a listener like you and listeners like the brotherhood that we have out there tuning in. What I would love though, to really help expand this, to help us grow it, to help us be able to invest more time, effort and energy into it is one of two things, or both. The first is I would love it if you would subscribe. If you enjoy this content, you like getting this content, please hit the subscribe button so that we know you're getting the content every week and when we put it out there. And then secondly, I'd love it if you knew people in your network or people who you feel could get value out of this particular episode and this particular show that you've listened to today. So I would love it if you could share it or subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Looking forward to continuing on this journey with you. Thanks very much for tuning in. Stay strong. See you next week.